Hello everyone, this is Jared, and I got kind of bored tonight, so I decided to do a video vlog. I don't really have anything to say right now, so I went upstairs to our studio, and this is kind of where we work whenever there's a project either for work or for a hobby or for a nonprofit. Actually, a couple of the nonprofits that Richard works with. We both come up here to relax, and we keep an interesting collection of things here. Some things for entertainment, the iPod stereo, a bunch of books, most of them on art, a microwave because you never know when you're going to get hungry while you're working, a coffee machine for those nights when you're working pretty late, a refrigerator, of course, and a bunch of other stuff. This book I picked up when I was in Seattle last year, and I've mentioned it I think once before in my blog, but I can't stress just how good it is. It's an amazing book. It's called No One Belongs Here More Than You, Stories by Miranda July. If you're familiar with her work, you'll know that she did a movie a couple years ago titled Me and You and Everyone We Know. It was a really sweet film. Very, it's hard to describe. A very subtle film, very good. And she won an award at Cannes for it. Over on this side, right here, we have a few collections, an antique music stand which we purchased because we both love music, and I collect old musical instruments. I have several guitars, a couple bass guitars, a xylophone, a melodica, a harp, and recently I bought a kalimba, or a thumb piano, which I showed on another blog when we were in LA. Right here we have my little practice amp. My bigger amp is in the basement, and it's pretty loud, so when I use it, I hardly ever use it, but when I do, Richard doesn't really like it a whole lot. And then right here we have the cabinets. Now, before Richard bought this house a couple of years ago, someone had turned this studio room into like a second kitchen upstairs. So there's a sink and a few other things, but we don't hardly ever use it for a kitchen. We mostly use it when we're working on stuff. So that's about it. Got bored and decided to set up the tripod. One thing that I wanted to mention is that I am leaving tomorrow, sometime either in the morning or the early afternoon, to go visit my family in Northern California. So as you can imagine, I'm going to miss my Richard. Every time I leave, I feel like I'm never going to see him again, so I get really sad, and it takes us about 20 minutes for us to say goodbye. From the moment I finish packing my car till the moment I finally open up the gate and get ready to drive out. It's really sad. It's very emotional. In this past year and a half that we've been together, I've never felt that I've been this close to anyone in my entire life. So he's a really sweet guy. I can't imagine spending this much time with anyone else. He is definitely a great guy. So that song that you guys were hearing was called Stop Me, I'm Going to Scream, Part 1 by My Morning Jacket, who I mentioned on the last video blog. I guess that's about it. Oh wait, no, there's one more thing. Lately I've been getting a lot of messages through several sources, but through several different websites that I'm on, like MySpace or Silver Daddies or Blogger, Twitter even. People asking me for advice, and I think that's really cool. I never really thought of myself as someone capable of giving advice, but being in the position that I am and having been in this relationship, we haven't really been together for ages or anything. It's only been just over a year and a half, but I've learned so much from Richard in this year and a half, and so much about what I want in a relationship, and what I don't want in a relationship. And so, I don't know, it's really interesting when people ask me questions about sex, about how we get along, about how we get around our differences, and I think it's great. I really enjoy doing that. I mean, I'm not saying I have the best advice. Definitely, if you can, if you really feel like you need it, I would recommend getting a therapist. I've had one, and it helped a lot. So screw those crazy Scientologists out there who don't believe in psychiatry, because I can totally vouch for it. It definitely helped me out a lot in getting things straight in my head before getting into a relationship. In fact, my therapist recommended that I go ahead and move in with Richard when I was still kind of debating whether or not I should do it. So it's worked out for the best. Like I said, I can't imagine being with anyone else than my Richard. So that's about it. Thank you so much for all of you guys that have been reading my blog so far. I promise I will continue to keep posting as best as I can. Sometimes there's nothing really interesting to report. I don't make anything up. It's all real what you see on there, but sometimes you have days where absolutely nothing happens, so that's when I blog that I'm bored, or I just do a video blog. You just heard my voice crack. That still happens. I mean, I'm 25 and my voice still cracks. It's kind of sad, actually. So, that's about it. I probably shouldn't have done a video blog. I mean, you guys are probably bored to death just looking around, if you're even watching. So, okay. Thank you so much for watching this, if you are watching it. And if you can, leave a comment. That's what the comments are down there for. I'd really like to hear your feedback. So, thanks again, and signing off, this is Jared. Have a happy 4th. Have a very safe 4th. And for all of you that are not in the U.S., have a great weekend. I promise things are going to get better for the rest of the world once our president is no longer going to be in power. Once we have a new one, then things will be better. So I apologize to all you guys who aren't very happy with our administration. I have to agree with you. America is not the world, and we really need someone in charge that will realize that. So, take care, and good night.